When the sweet smell of chocolate entwines with the aroma of engine exhaust, you're either at one of two places, and if you don't hear drivers cursing about the plethora of chicanes, you know you're not at Zolder, so it must be Belgium's other track, historic Spa-Francorchamps. The host venue for the SRF Weekend Warriors Championship Season 5 finale. Witness all the action live as it happens here on the Global SimRacing Channel. From Spa, hello and welcome to GSRC's Countdown to Green. As cyberspace flows into your place over these 15 streamy award-worthy minutes, GSRC will bring you all the storylines, all the stats and facts you'll need to appreciate the final round of 10 in the Weekend Warrior Season 5 Championship that will immediately follow as we count down to green. And here to do all of that way up in the press box to bring you our words eye view is Super Crackers, yours truly, Bill Soups On, joined as always by Sean Crackers Ambrose. Down in the production van, turning the knobs and pushing the sliders is the hardest working man in sim race broadcasting, Joe Peak. Armed with cameras, located, aimed, zoomed, and focused by GSRC's camera guru, Dougie Beard. Now, since we've seen you last, the Weekend Warriors dealt the cards out, and you know, it was Hula Doulas who called everybody's bluff and got the pot. Now, Crackers, one of my favorite poker movies is A Big Hand for a Little Lady, and today it's a big track for a little car as the Weekend Warriors bring the SRFs to Spa.
Soup, thank you, buddy, and not to pull the curtain back too much, but this is the first time we're actually working together, literally in the booth, and that's kind of neat. But let's talk about Spa. Designed in 1920, laid out on public roads. The original course had 25 turns. It was 14.9 kilometers long, 9.31 miles over here in the United States. But after World War II, the track was shortened slightly, but remained the fastest road circuit in Europe and had a nasty reputation for being dangerous. In 1981, safety concerns, of course, came in and forced the track to shorten it just a bit, this time cutting it to 4 miles, a 7-kilometer layout versus the old layout. Now, the modern layout that we're racing on today has been around since 2007. It's 7 kilometers, 4.3 miles, has 20 turns. But the best way to get an idea what this place is really like is to jump on board the GSRC Spec Racer Ford and take a long lap around Spa.
All right, we've got Amjad Yaman in the GSRC SRF, so let's do a lap around Spa. Coming across the start-finish line, you want to keep the car as far left as you can go and then hit the binders once you spot your brake marker. The most important thing about the infamous La Source hairpin is nailing that exit. The outside is paved, so you get a 1x at worst if you get on the power early. But come out of there with no speed or get on the power late, and your lap time will really suffer. Now, we plunge down the hill towards Eau Rouge. In the small underpowered Spec Racer, this will easily be flat out, but that doesn't take away how critical it is to get the line right through here. Just like La Source, navigating it properly will set you up with momentum on the long climb up the Kemmel Straight. And now that you've reached it, take a breather, sip your drink if you need, check your mirrors. You've got a lot of time to ponder what you did wrong and what you did right. The one thing that will keep you from totally relaxing is the draft, which will keep cars close all race long. And as we hit the braking zone for Lecumbe, anyone who isn't fully past you will be looking to beat you to the first apex. Thankfully, since this is basically a large chicane, defending from the outside can be done. From there, it's just a matter of lining your car up for Malmedy and just giving a little lift to get the car through the corner. We're now at the highest point of the track, and it's all going to be literally downhill from here. Rivage is another spot where sneaky passes may happen, but the lift throttle oversteer of the SRF makes this a 180-degree right-hander, one that requires balancing the car with the gas. After that, it's a short sprint to the next left-hander, which is one more small lift and then get your foot back to the floor. I always love this part of the track because if you look across over the trees, you can see the rest of the circuit in the valley below you. But there's no time for sightseeing because you've got to get your turn in perfect for Pouhon or suffer the consequences. This double apexer catches out even the best drivers from time to time with its difficulty. It's quick, it's downhill, and it's dangerous. If you got it right, you got to send the car to the left to set up for Fagnes. Just like Lecumbe, this is something of a large, quick chicane. A clever driver with a good run can occasionally pull off a pass into this S-bend. Once more, there's no time to relax because the line from Fagnes takes us directly into Stavelot. It's important to get the first part of the corner right because once again, you shouldn't lift for a long time afterwards. The second part of the corner can be tricky, but if you hit the line right, it's flat out. Now, because this part is so fast, we find ourselves with another section where draft battles start to erupt. But instead of a heavy braking zone, it leads into the fearsome blanchiment. In a faster car, you'd ease off the gas, but with a Spec racer, the right line will be flat-footed. Despite not having to lift, it's still single file, so getting side by side will cost both drivers time. Honestly, the wiser move may be to sit behind the car in front and then set yourself up for a pass into the bus stop. Get the car to the left, throw out the anchor, and slam it down through the gearbox. Watch out for these large red sausage curves at both apexes though. They'll knock the car all out of sorts, and traction will be very important out of this chicane. Hopefully, you got it right so that your opponent can't have a go at you into La Source. But regardless, as you approach the line, you finished a lap around Spa.
And there you have a very long lap around Spa in these little cars. Okay, so with the results of round 11 recorded, let's take a look at how things stand right now in the points going into this finale. Now, the GSRC stat boys, Simon and Poindexter, were hard at work down there crunching the numbers. The numbers that were supplied by the series showed Jerry McAreevy with a 1-point lead. Now, let me tell you how that's a little bit misleading. You see down there that he is listed in third, 20 points back. Well, he does have 6 bonus points, so that would make him only 14 points back. And he also has 15 drop race points that he will not get to use. You add 15 and 6 together, that's 21. That's why he sits 1 point ahead in the actual standings, but that's not really the case. Here's what Simon and Poindexter are telling the commentators. It is indeed Demetrius Houdaludis, who is in the catbird position, sitting up there with a 9-point lead over David Gaspers. Notice the zeros by both of those guys' names. They have no drop race insurance. That's how it's going to play out. Keep an eye on McAreevy, though. He does have those 6 bonus points that aren't reflected. He's really only 14 back. Then we show Austin Winter sitting in 4th and Michael Shaw rounding out the overlay. So that's what's going on. But the real battle today is going to be between Houdaludis and the German driver of Gaspers. Now, Sean, let's go ahead and talk about the event details.
Soup, let's get those details in. This is the final round of Season 5. We've made it here to round 12. In the Spec Racer Ford, yes, a bit of an underpowered vehicle, but a really tough car to handle and wheel around this track. Look for a bit of a draft race today out of these machines with open setups, but only have 30% of fuel in the tank. What does that mean? Well, over the 40 minutes, they're going to have to stop it at least once. Come in for a pit stop on a very, very long and winding road that is the pit area here at Spa. And incident cap, well, we don't worry about that. You do get 2 cars, two spare cars back there in the hauler in the paddock area, and you can pull those down and use them should you have any trouble. Now, of course, a tow back to the pits here can take an awful long time. If you wreck a car beyond repair and have to do that, you'll lose a tremendous amount of time, but you won't be out of the race because you will have those 2 spare cars to work with today. Soup, why don't we look at the weather here real quick and see what we're dealing with here today at Spa.
It's rainy. It's Spa. It's got to be raining, right?
It is partly cloudy, which means there's a slight threat of some rain here in Belgium today, but it's only 75 degrees outside. Yes, 23, about 24 degrees Celsius, and 101 degrees on track. And Soup, that's going to be a bit of an issue. It's pretty slick, pretty greasy out here.
My partner quoting the Beatles there, talking about the long and winding road here that is Spa. Of course, McCartney said the long and winding road leads to your door. Actually, here it's going to lead to the championship between Houdaludis and Gasper. Sean, and also giving an example of the understatement when he talked about this being maybe a pack race here today. I cannot imagine this being anything other than large packs of cars. It's going to be hard to pull away with these long straights.
It's exactly what I saw in practice, Soup. Been following that for about the last 30 minutes or so. And, yeah, they were working together, a lot of the guys, getting together and trying different draft situations, trying to complete passes cleanly. The trip all the way down the Camel Straight to Malmedy is going to be a lot of fun to watch because they were practicing a lot of overtakes there, Soup. And that might be one of your better opportunities here today is, like I said, coming all the way down the Camel Straight and trying to pull something off, going into Lacombe, and then by the time you get out of Malmedy, you have a pass completed, hopefully, before you get all the way down to Rivage.
We have about just about 3 more minutes of qualifying to go. Let's take a look and see who's sitting up in front. We have David Gasper sitting at the top. Stephen Elson, we've seen Stephen do really well sitting second. He had a really strong start to the season, has been kind of quiet the back half. See if all the big names are here. There is Hootalutus, so they are, Gaspers and Hootalutus are here. Now, we talked about that 15 drop race points for McAreevy. Well, he's going to need it, as I don't see the driver sitting in third here today. So the worst case scenario, he's going to get 15. But unless Gaspers and Hootalutus are kidnapped by aliens, it's going to be hard-pressed for McAreevy to make up that, what is basically a 14-point gap. I guess it's feasible it could be done.
So basically this race, I'd say at this point, with that McAreevy being here, really comes down to Hootalutus and Gaspers. And, well, Gaspers has the advantage right now starting on the pole. Certainly no guarantee you'll finish there by starting there, but Demetrius is going to have a little bit of work to do if he doesn't get a better lap down here. And Soup, with only about a minute left, I don't know if that's actually going to happen. So Demetrius is going to have to start a little bit behind the 8 ball here. On what is going to be a very, very competitive race here today, over 40 minutes around Spa, almost 3 minutes in the lap time. So it'll be a bit of a war, I think, here, Soup, because we've got a big field. 30 cars have made it to race here today in Belgium.
Yeah, I'm not a doctor, but I do play one on the internet, and you can really judge a series' health by the size of the field at the end of the season. And like you just mentioned, 30 cars. That is a true indication of a healthy series. We look forward to hopefully coming back and covering some more Season 6 action in the near future. I'm getting news now from the director that we've all got confirmed, so that's great, because these little SRFs put on a good show.
They really do, and the Weekend Warriors are the best out there, Soup. They've been around for a long time, and camaraderie, a big part of what they do, and I expect to see most everyone you see here today be back for round 1.
And honestly, we do a better job once we get more familiar with the drivers, which we have this time. And you as the viewers will enjoy watching as you get more familiar with the drivers as well. Certainly David Gasper is somebody that is familiar to almost anybody who's been watching this series, as he is our pole sitter. There's Demetrius Hootalutus, confirmed that he races out of Greece, as you would guess by his name. This is his last chance to improve as he works his way through the bus stop. His current time, a 2:52.3. Does he better it? He does not. Oh, and I apologize, because as they always fool me here at Spa, they move the finish line around just to confuse the unintelligent commentator. So here we go. A 2:52.3, and this time the start-finish line is there, and he does not improve unless they've moved the finish line somewhere else. But
no,
now that he's okay. Start and finish line are on the downhill section.
I believe we have a random generator, start-finish line generator that is done before each race.
Yeah, I like it. See, it's the classic, but this allows me to call 2 finishes. I can call the first one that really isn't there, and then I can call the real one after they make the way around the source. All right, we are good. Let's go ahead and call the grid here. On the front row, we have time. We'll take them 2 at a time here, Sean. It's David Gaspers and Stephen Elson.
Row 2, Jason Perry and Alejandro Liro.
The man from Greece, Demetrius Hootalutus, Antonio Reese in 6th.
Row 4, Richard Gallen, Fred Desai.
9th and 10th, Daniel Pinto and Ross Nicholas.
Row 6, Stevie Ray and Mauro Marzo.
Apologize, that's Ross Nicholson in the 10th position. In the Baker's dozen spot, Daniel Sadro and Adam Bradshaw.
Supro 8 is going to be Wayne Palmer and Francisco. Is that Bernardo? Yes, I can't read. Francisco Bernardo. There he is.
In the Sweet 16, all ribbons and curls. It's Jomo in 17th position. For the last time this season, let me take a shot of it. Jose Luis Avido de Castillajo Mo. That's all we have room for. Behind him, it is Chris Murakami.
All right, and in row 10, it's going to be Michael Shaw and Bob Kern.
Hidden Blackjack, it is Carnivorous Love and Christopher Patterson.
In Supro 12, it'll be Christopher Keeble and Tom Gradwell.
In the 25th position, Jeff Cantor and Gary Wolbach.
Okay, row 14, going to be Jason Lowe and Brad Taylor.
And then two drivers that did not put in a qualifying time, Mateo Dant and Alan Chapman. 30 names on the entry list, 28 put in qualifying times. We'll see how many grid up. It's all going to be done behind our pole sitter, the man from Germany, David Gaspers. Keep an eye on the man outside of him, Steven Elson. He is sneaky fast. Beautiful day here at Spa. I joked about the weather. Seems like it always rains at Spa. Not part of the platform yet on iRacing.
I wonder when they finally put that in development if Spa is the track they'll actually start with.
Because it'll be used every time, yeah.
My money's either on Spa or Silverstone, one of the two.
40 minutes of racing here today to finish up season number 5, and boy, it's been a fun one. Our points leader, Grease Lightning, Demetrius Houdoulis, down in 5th spot. It's going to be hard. I don't have the points ratio in front of me. It's going to be hard to tell here. Hopefully one of the series officials can give us a call here at the end of the race, and we can announce not only the race winner, but the champion as well. You know, Sean, we joke about C. Love down there in 21st position. That's a little bit farther down than I would expect to see him. He's a better driver, really, than to be outside the top 20.
Soup, exactly. I was rather, as we were going through doing the grid, I looked down, I see C. Love there and 21st, and I had to shake my head a bit. And seems to be a little bit off pace here at Spa. And maybe it's just that. Maybe it's Spa. It works to some drivers' advantage, and to others, it's a bit crippling. It's a tough circuit to figure out, and I'm sure it's evenly as tough in this Spec Racer Ford as you try to milk just every bit of speed out of this machine you can. And remember, from a setup standpoint, it is open. There aren't a lot of adjustments you can make to this car to make it much faster than it is right out of the box.
As they start to grid up, can we take a good close look at car number 01 of Chris Murakami? Man, that's a good-looking car. I just like that. That's one that Mom and Dad can see. Oh, we are. That's a little. There you see the stripe there of it there a little bit. But we're a little hidden behind some of those cars. Well, Chris is going to work his way through the field in 16th position. We'll have plenty of time to show you the 01 machine. You can see it right there, even from a distance, that striped car. Now we pan to the lead. There's the. What do we have here? A Porsche pace car? Is that, or is it the roof? Okay. Well, whatever it is begins to roll. Final 40 minutes of this 12-race schedule. I misspoke earlier when I said 10. We are indeed 12 races on the docket for Season 5. Your pole sitter in that brightly colored black and yellow machine. If black can be a brightly colored car, it's really shining under this Belgian sun. Car number 21 of David Gaspers.
Soup, it does not look like Mathieu DeHont is going to start this race. He's not gridded up, and unless he comes in through the pits or starts from the pit, again, not in the field. So we're going to roll off with 29, Alan Chapman at the back of the field.
And they're not going to fool me. We're not going green here. You can let your chickens roam free for a while. They're safe because we're not going to go free until we get around La Source.
If you let them roam, would they be free range?
They are
chickens?
free range.
Okay.
Pace car is around looking for the place for it to pull in. And he finds it. So now, as David Gaspers brings them to the line, gather up those chickens. Take cover behind the cows because the horses are out of the barn. And it is indeed the German driver of Gaspers leading the stampede down into the first corner. Careful, boys. They get it sorted out. Elson holds into second. Perry in third. Nicholson in fourth, sorry. And Grease Lightning, Demetrius Houladoulis rounding out your top five.
And Alejandro Liero, he gets bumped off, hip checked basically off the track, coming through Radion.
3 wide up front into Lacombe. That red and blue machine in the Spider-Man car, that's Jason Perry. He comes from 2 back to get the lead. There's Houladoulis in the orange-colored Renault machine. Side by side with Elson. Elson dropping like a pigeon.
Stevie Ray had trouble in Malmedy. He straightened it out. He had a little bit of contact. He's moving. Dropped all the way to 18th.
Reese holding down 5th position behind Elson. You get a position, but honestly, where are you going? It's going to be hard for anybody to pull away right now. The back half of your top 10, Richard Yallen, he's somebody to keep an eye on. He's sneaky fast too. Ross Nicholson has fallen down. Well, actually, he started in 10th, racing in 7th, doing well.
Soup, Adam Bradshaw just picked up his 5th spot already in the 9th. And Bradshaw gets in really hot. Almost outbraked himself. Now he's side by side there with Jomo. Jomo, 7 spots on the start, already in the top 10 here.
Yeah, the action, our director is on it. The action is back there in 10th position. 9th, actually, leading the train is Jomo. Weaving back and forth, that's Bradshaw and Bernardo. Bernardo's making the move. He's going to get them both. He gets around Bradshaw. He gets around Jomo. He's trying to bring the white car of Mars a whizzle. Dressik's in there now in 13th. It's the pinata full of bees. Desai, sorry. Coming in behind Marzo now. Oh, Desai has to take, he's going to go around the wide side. Look at the pinata full of bees behind him as they all negotiate the bus stop.
Stevie Ray right in the middle of that. Wayne Palmer, C-Love. Aye.
Up front, there is a battle for the lead, but it pales by excitement comparison to what's going on behind. Gaspers and Houladoulis might have made a little bit of contact. Gaspers still out front. Houladoulis has come from 5th position now to be in 2nd as they start lap number 2.
And big trouble out of the source. Several cars involved in that suit. Tom Gradwell was in it. Yeah, Stevie Ray getting upended on his lid. The car gets righted. We've got a replay of it here. It all happens coming into La Source.
Oh my goodness. Seemed like we had been racing so long I had to check to see if we were still on the first lap, but indeed that was the end of lap number 1. We got to go up front when we come back live. It's about what you would expect. Yes, the Grease Lightning is out in front there of Demetrius Houladoulis. He got around Gaspers.
More trouble for Fred Desai.
And then stay on it. And we just go ahead and stay on it, then go to Richard Yallen when it's done, because they spun right after each other. We look here at Desai getting loose.
Got in hard on those brakes.
Yeah. Now jump right to Richard Yallen if we can. And now Richard Yallen in 6th position. You're going to see him have a spin here as well. He's in that white car. There he goes. And 1 drops from the lead train. The lead train is now 5 deep.
Yeah, Yallen takes the car behind the wall. He's done for the day.
Ross Nicholson in 6th position, doing his very best to get on the back of Steven Nelson if he can. That gap, 1.3 seconds. Boy, that's a big accomplishment. If he could get there, it'll change the whole perspective of his race. If he can get to 6th, he actually has a chance to win. If he falls back into 7th position, he could finish outside the top 10 eventually.
Gasper's getting the lead back from Hootaludis. Ooh, Jason Perry, a little bit of contact in Hootaludis there, getting into the chicane.
Ride on board with Steven Nelson. There's a good picture of Steven's face there. Smile, Steve. See him in the mirror. Let's drop back, take a quick look at 7th position if you can, Director. Maybe get a good look at this paint scheme. This is very important. This is to help drivers know when they own the apex. If you get your nose into the green part of the car, it's safe to make the pass. If you're in the yellow part, it's kind of questionable. And if you only get to the red part, I still own the apex. So it kind of helps drivers. It's good position, questionable position, and poor position. Car number 12 of Daniel Pinto. Go back up to the leaders. I wonder if the Pinto is anywhere in the pipeline for iRacing cars to be done.
Ooh. I'd be a fan. As long as it was in the modified division, I'd be a big fan.
I would think so. Look at this race up front here. Now, it is Hootaludis out in front. Perry, Gaspers, Reese, qualified 6th, up 2 spots. And Elson. From what I've seen, and Chapman has had an issue. Let's go ahead and take a peek at that one.
Get Soup, it was down at Ravage.
He was the last car in. Boy, he took it in deeper than Buddha's belly button and got into it a little bit there with Wayne Palmer. Right behind the tree. Watch this. That was optimistic.
That's a good word for it. Like a little sunny optimism every now and then.
5 cars running up front. There we go. Now we're looking at that peppermint machine. What color are the Murakami car? What color are those? That is red and white. Yes, Sean. That's it. Yeah. Boy, my breath smells fresher just looking at that car. My wife would like to know if the car is red with white stripes or white with red stripes. As right now, he's in a mess. Yeah. Look at that. That's Michael Shaw with a good run out of the bus stop, right on the back of Murakami. Well, I'll be honest with you, Sean. I feel like they keep missing shifts. Those little SRFs they just don't go out of the bus stop.
Well, it's Jomo leading the way. He's still in control here of this battle.
That train is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cars deep. 8 cars.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. They've really, really got a good train going here. And then just up, it's Francisco Bernardo sitting all by himself on track, and then it's another 7-car train in front of him. It keeps changing positions. Hootaludis gets the lead back from Perry. Gaspers gets dropped to 3rd. Yeah.
We really are being kind of cavalier about what's going on up front. We just know these drivers so well that they are so good. They're not going to get together. They're just going to kind of dance like this for the next, with 30 minutes to go, I'd say 28 minutes. And then it starts to mean something.
And this is what they were working on in practice, Soup. What I talked about seeing here. A little bit of contact there between Gaspers and Steven Elson.
Hey, the guy I want to talk about, remember we talked about the car out there, the green, yellow, and red car of Daniel Pinto? Well, he was back in 7th behind Ross Nicholson. Well, he got that one, and now he is only 1.7 seconds behind Antonio Reese. There's a chance this could turn into not only a 5 car, maybe a 6 car, and if he brings Nicholson with him, maybe a 7 car train up front.
I think he's going to bring Nicholson with him. Nicholson's got really good pace right now and certainly has the draft of Pinto in front of him.
So I'll give you that interval between Reese. We'll check back in on it later. It's 1.6 seconds from Reese back to Pinto.
When if Pinto could just bring the Nina and the Santa Maria with him, he'd be in really good shape.
Bernardo in 9th, all by himself. And then let's go back to 10th, Director. Here we are again. This is Bradshaw being pressured by Mojo, or Jomo, sorry.
Jomo looking for some good mojo today here, Sue.
Well, he's got it. He makes the pass. The peppermint machine of Murakami looking on behind him. Michael Shaw back there. Murakami again looking to find a spot. Go through the bus stop. Ooh, Mario Marzo almost gets into the back of Michael Shaw. He has to lift. He's going to lose a lot of momentum. So much of this is about momentum, isn't it, Sean, where the cars are so underpowered for the tracking. You just got to keep it rolling.
You know what? A bit of a change up front. Jason Perry has actually extended himself to quite a lead here heading up the hill.
Yeah.
Oh, no, here they come, though. Those 3 cars right behind him got quite a run through Radillon and Eau Rouge, and here they come. Hootaludis right behind him. Here comes Gaspers. It's going to be 3 wide.
Look how Perry kept the car to the left, so at least when they all went by him, they wouldn't do it on both sides. You can all go by me, but at least I'll know where you are. So he goes from 1st, maybe down to 4th there, as that is Elson trying to get in the mix. I think Elson's going to have a really good position to this corner. Nope, they'll settle down.
Just like that, Jason Perry goes from 1st all the way to back to 3rd.
And all that little nonsense, all that fun they were having down the back straight there, that brought Pinto into the mix, but did not bring his partner with him. Ross Nicholson not able to hang on. So now we have a 6-car battle.
Yeah, okay, so here's what's interesting. Just behind Nicholson, Francisco Bernardo. Fast, really fast. He's already picked up 10 spots, and Nicholson keeps playing around there. He's going to lose that spot and give another one to Bernardo. But Bernardo, the Italian driver, is on the way, Soup, and he is turning laps right now just as fast as our leader, David Gaspers.
If you're Gaspers and Hootaludis, you got to figure, I'm not going anywhere, but I've got to be out in front. One mistake, remember, they had zeros for drop races, which means they have no drop insurance. They burned all their drop insurance already. They've cashed it in. The premiums has been paid, and the rewards have been given. They've got to be up front as they go side by side. Cialis Bathtubs now is the Grease Lightning and David Gaspers. And it is Hootaludis who gets the spot. But they cannot afford to get farther back where a mistake can ruin their race. These guys need to stay out in front. I don't think they really care if it's 2 or 1 or 1 and 2. They just don't want to be back and forth and 5th. They work through the bus stop back there. Here comes Spider-Man. Jason Perry.
Doing what a spider can.
I just want to keep going with those lyrics, but this isn't...
That's all right, Soup. You're going to get your fill of Spider-Man. You've got quite a long list to work through. So.
And look at this. Daniel Pinto has made the pass. He's got around that. See what else?
We had trouble in Lasource.
No.
Yeah, Mauro Marzo and who was that he got into it with? Adam Bradshaw.
Yeah, Marzo took it in hotter than a curling iron on Venus there, and he just couldn't get a load up.
Yeah,
Bradshaw, the big Bradshaw gets the damage on this one. Marzo keeps going. He'll lose a few spots. The car probably will not be fast, but Bradshaw really has a large chunk of his right rear fender missing. Right on board here in the peppermint machine of Murakami. Let's jump back on board. When we come back live, let's look at Bradshaw, because now he's fallen back into the clutches of Christopher Keeble and Wayne Palmer for 14th spot. And Sean, that's just how fast it can go south on you here, and that's what Gaspers and Hootalutas have to worry about. Fortunately, I think they probably have a little more confidence in the guys they're racing with, Perry and Reese and Pinto.
I would say if this pack stays together, I'd say they're pretty safe. They don't have any traffic in front of them. They got nothing but clean track and just under 24 minutes to go, which is going to be about 8.5 laps, Soup. So they can keep this train going here up front. I think they'll be okay. They start to battle and tussle a bit. Pinto and Elson are just right there behind them.
Well, what they need is just because they're battling, that doesn't necessarily mean they're going slow. If they can get it worked out before they get to the corner, they can slingshot by and save a little speed, as is happening right now. Here comes a good run, and there's Gaspers getting out of front. Now Hootalutas is back in 4th position. But here's what's interesting news, good news for these top 4 guys. Oh my goodness, as they race in Noah Ark position 2 by 2 into the bus stop. They get it sorted out. Reese now, who's back at 1.4 seconds back to, well, I guess it's Elson. A second ago it was Pinto, but Elson has got around him. Pinto and Elson has been battling, and they've lost touch with the front 4. Just about at the halfway mark.
Ooh, a bunch of cars get caught up there in the bus stop, Soup.
I think it all starts... It was really worse than it needs to be. A dive bomb in there from Rob Kern, but then the aftermath was Liero not staying on the brakes. Kern turns it around. Now watch Liero in the blue machine. Drop back a little bit, Director. There you go. He starts to roll, and then he's picked up by the rest of the cars. You got to stay on the brakes. You can't keep rolling. Nowhere to go for Woolbolt and for Alan Chapman. Chapman making a stop, as are several of those other drivers.
And remember, they do get that spare car. And definitely working with that now. As Bradshaw rolls out a pristine Spec Racer Ford back on track. Battle up front continues here.
There is a strategy to a spare car. You want it to happen. If you need your spare car, you want your incident to happen in your pit window, and it did for those guys. They'll just be able to come in and get their stop. In fact, all that incident was right before pit entrance, so it really didn't cost them that much. Perry, Gaspers, Hootalutas, and Reese. The top 4, Reese with about a 1.5 second lead. Well, now it's back to Pinto again, as Pinto and Elson continue to swap positions as those 2 drivers try to get back up to the front 4. There's a great Dougie Bear camera shot, as you can see all 6 cars together. Watch right here. You can see them all in the same frame. Boy, that's frustrating. For me, a man of my talent, when I can see cars like that, it only makes me go slower.
I'm still locked in on this battle for the top 10. Marzo being hounded by Murakami. And now, and did Francesco Bernardo have a problem? It's all of a sudden dropped from timing and scoring there, Sue.
Yeah, I don't want to assume, but I would think maybe the internet demons got him.
Yeah. Well, he's in the pit. Maybe he's in for his stop.
Taking a stop, perhaps.
20 to go. 20 minutes to go.
As we look at the leaders, there's your top four, and then the two they're chasing. Oh, we got a biter. And it was the German driver of David Gaspers. Now, this is where he has to be careful. Is he going to be faster by himself, or will those group of guys get together, do a little leapfrogging down the straights, pick up 3 or 4 car lengths every so often? And will Gaspers be left behind? Right now, he's a man on an island. And then, of course, there's the iRacing random fuel factor with these less expensive cars. The randomness can be a little greater than it would be if they were racing in a Formula One machine or a NASCAR machine. How quickly will the fuel fill into the machine? Gaspers comes out. His stop in the box, 12.5 seconds. 34.5 cone to cone.
Soup, Michael Shaw got a big run up the Kemmel Straight. He moves up to 8th. Drops Murakami and Marzo just behind him. Daniel Sadro is in this battle now. He's into 11th. These 4 cars working really well together. Unfortunately, they've let the rest of the field get a little far in front of them. All of a sudden, Jomo has kind of found himself out there in no man's land, Soup.
Yeah, and that's not where you want to be here. You really need to have a racing partner.
About half the field has come in and got that pit stop, but look for the rest of these guys to be peeling off here any time now.
Look what our director has put us on. He's put us on the lead, and notice how things are a little more behaved up here right now. They realize they have Gasper not in the mix. The idea is now not to be leading, but the idea is to get all of us to go faster. We can turn this into a 3-car battle. There's Hootaludis, makes the pass, but he does it without slowing anybody down. I'm going to give you an interval here from our leader, Hootaludis, to the man he is battling in the points, and that would be Gaspers. My timing and scoring will work for me, and I cannot do it after all. If I could find Gaspers. Michael, there he is. Interval, yeah, he's way down there. Interval of 35 seconds between our leader and the man in 13th. And now we lose Antonio Reese. Pinto joins, but look at the interval between Hootaludis and Perry. It's quite a distance. Let's go ahead and pick up Gaspers to see where he is. We'll see if he's able to get out before those other pitters. Gasper just working his way across out of the bus stop now, heading to the source. He does the final corner. Reese is still in his box.
Well, and then there were 6 left needing a pit stop here.
Pinto is rolling. He's the first out of the pits. And there goes Gasper flying by. Gasper is going to crush Pinto. Elson comes out next. And Reese, who was leading not long ago, cycles out behind all of them, 10th overall. That'll be a little higher once some of the cars in front make their stop. But Antonio, the big loser in the pit stops. And it's all, when I look at pit stop times here, 15 seconds for about everybody. Reese's, though, was really slow from cone to cone. I worry a little bit about Daniel Pinto. His stop about 5 seconds shorter in the box than anybody else. Got to worry that that Pinto maybe doesn't have enough fuel in it. Less fuel in a Pinto is good, though, because they have a tendency to blow up if the gas tank is hit.
That's not true.
All right, our leaders are Hootadoolus out in front. Jason Perry. With about 15 minutes of racing to go, they should be coming in pretty soon. They'll just, I guess, want to run it as dry as they can. Looking at Michael Shaw. Trying to get a little bit of bump draft there on Murakami. Careful, boys.
Yeah, look for them to peel off here, Soup. I think my spidey senses are tingling. I think they're coming in for a stop here.
Hootadoolus and Perry heading to Losaurus. They've been out there for a long time. That gas tank's got to be about as empty as a syrup bottle after a pancake social. Let's see if they come in this time. Yep. Now the next ones to come around, that's going to be Murakami and Shaw and Sadro. They will also come in as well. Marzo expecting to pit Gasper just out of the bus stop. Boy, he's got 5 seconds lead on Daniel Pinto. Gasper, the leader of all the cars to stop.
Okay, so Murakami comes in and Shaw and Sadro stay out for another lap, Soup.
Hootadoolus finds his spot. Perry finds his spot. They will come out in second right now. They're where is Gaspers? Where is Gaspers now? Hootadoolus rolls. And waiting to see Gaspers is far back. I think Hootadoolus should be able to get that car up to singing out in front of Gaspers, but he's coming full song. Gaspers gets Perry. And I think the momentum, I think it's going to first out on the track is Grease Lightning. But you'll have to bottle. Gaspers is out in second position. I guess it's going to say third overall right now, but I think when the guys in front of them actually come in, Sadro and Shaw, he will be your leader.
Yeah, that's definitely the way it looks to be. What a great stop by Gaspers there. 12.5 in the box, Soup.
Now the question is, did the German driver get ahead far enough to leave his rival behind? I don't think so. It's about 7 car lengths, maybe about. I think Hootadoolus should be close enough to reel him in. And again, the interval in the points was about 9 points. There might be a few bonus points for Gaspers that I didn't take into account. Nevertheless, if they go 1-2 with Grease Lightning coming home in second, that should be enough for him to get the championship.
Antonio Reed, Steven Elson having a good fight here for 7th.
Elson started second, has fallen 7 spots. Reese, on the other hand, started 6th, have gone down to 10th. So both these guys go in the wrong direction on the charts. All this going behind our late race leaders right now of Daniel Sadro and Michael Shaw. Of course, they work their way through the bus stop. They're out there running it long. But my dad would say, even Cinderella has a curfew, and right now I think they better come in or those little SRFs are going to be turning into pumpkins. And they'll come on in. Gasper working its way through Losaurus. And boy, it's not that far back to Hootadoolus. Demetrius, if he's thinking big picture, he's happy where he is. If he's thinking little picture, He'd like to get that one spot on his rival.
All right, Steven Elson, Antonio Rees. Going to get past Sadro and Shaw. They'll roll out in 7th and 8th.
Think it's safe they're going to get out in front of Jomo? Maybe not. Jomo's got a full head of steam here, but I think Shaw finally gets it singing. Sadro in 7th, Shaw in 8th, Castillo in 9th. As the bells of Belgium ring in the local cathedral. I'm not sure if we're able to pick that up on the mic. Under 10 minutes left, Sean, of Season 5 here in the Weekend Warriors.
I'll tell you what, this race is going to come down to an exciting finish here between David Gaspers and Demetrius Houdaludis. It's all up to them now because they've dropped Perry and Pinto and the rest of this field. I don't think they're going to catch them here at this point with just under 10 minutes left to go. And the championship, I think, is going to be decided right here, right now, and today at Spa.
Well, the field is large enough and there's enough cars still out there racing that I'm sure there's one interested viewer, and that is Jerry McAreevy, who would like these two guys to get together, maybe have both of the cars blow up, and see if he can cash in on his 15 drop race points and enough to steal the championship from these guys. Look at the run here from Houdaludis. Oh, we're going to take a look at Wayne Palmer's had an issue. Oh, boy, Wayne. You caught it, you lost it, you got it. By the time you got it going straight, it was headed straight for the wall. Okay, Sean, you are co-commentator here. You're the color man. You get paid the big money for strategy. Let's put yourself in the helmets of Gaspers and Houdaludis. Where do you want to be on the last lap? Do you want to be leading going into the bus stop? You want to be leading coming out of the bus stop? Is there enough time after La Source to snake one? How's this work?
I really want to take. I really would rather be leading out of the bus stop, to be honest with you, than take my chances with just playing good defense all the way down to La Source. You mess that up. That final chicane, you mess it up, and you get out of there slow, you'll never catch him. So, yeah, give me the advantage by getting out of there first. I think that's the way to roll, Sue.
What you're going to see now from these two guys up in front is a phrase that I steal from Joe Peak, one of my fellow commentators here. A little reconnaissance racing, a little feeling out from these guys. What can I do? We talked about a little poker reference earlier on in the pre-race show. Maybe they're not going to show everything. They're going to keep their cards close to the vest right now and maybe not show what they can do. Although Houdaludis and Gaspers have an understanding of the car, they have an understanding of each other. I think they both know what they're capable of.
Yeah, they're giving us a little game of cat and mouse right now, Sue.
What makes it easier for them is they have a 6-second lead before Jason Perry gets to them. So they can play around and go as slow as they want to try to position themselves in the position that they want to be. I often think of this kind of thing as like the Olympic bicycle racing. And what do they call that when they race in the little circle there? There's a special name for the track there, the velodrome or something like that. Where
I believe that's it, the velodrome, yes.
Where sometimes the cyclers actually stand still because neither one wants to lead. This is kind of where they are right now. Just 6 minutes of racing to go in season number 5. You're watching the season finale, round 12 here from Spa on the Global SimRacing Channel. Glad you're with us.
Man, Steven Elson's got his hands full right now. Antonio Rees, trying to take this position away.
Yeah, he's going to get it. Rees now up to 5th. Elson back to 2nd. Started outside the front row. And it's been all the wrong direction ever since. Elson doing a little bit of... That's one way to go fast, is the number 1 car is just getting right up on behind and giving a little push. Another bump. Reminds me of my wife and I at the supermarket the other day. She was in one of those little scooters and the battery ran out. I had to get behind her in the cart and just kind of bump draft her all the way to the front of the store. She was stranded back in the deli section.
Boy, big fighting going on for 7th, Soup. Jomo just gets by Michael Shaw. Shaw gets by Sadro. These 3 mixing it up a bunch right now.
Sadro, your race leader for a while, has fallen back to 9th.
Yeah, I think these guys are starting to see how much time we got left here, and it's like, hey, if I'm going to make a move, I better get her done and defend it well.
Jomo having a good run. He is up 9 spots.
Ludaluda's just got by David Gaspers. Back to the lead. Adam Almondy. Going to be Soup. This is 2 laps left here.
Now it's all a game of, well, you pick your strategy game. Chess, poker,
Hi, Gal.
Ludaluda's out in front. Gaspers in second. This, where they are right now, probably doesn't mean a whole lot. The interval back to 3rd, about 6.3 seconds. Plenty of time for Ludaluda to slow down and try to let Gaspers by.
Oof, that's a hard thing to do when you're racing position. Here comes Gaspers up on the inside. He's going to take it.
Honestly, I don't think it meant that much. Heading down to the bus stop is where it's going to matter, because you're a sitting duck if you're out in front. Right now, Ludaluda's happy to be where he is. Interval remains at 6.2 seconds. We are under 3 minutes of racing to go. All right. Grease Lightning pulls to the outside, and he's going to go to the front. This is going to be an indication of what we're going to see next time by. Maybe Ludaluda's seeing, can I make the pass and then come back? Gasper seeing I can give up the position and get it back. If you are second, you don't want to pass too early going into the bus stop. They try to get this sorted out. Now, thanks to the director, I am very aware that this is not the finish line right here. It's all the way around La Source. Now, do you play defense? Look at how long it takes those cars to get to the hairpin, though.
Oh, maybe you don't want to be first then.
Gasper's thinking maybe there's enough time there. Both drivers just giving each other plenty of room. They are shown the flag that has no pigment. 1 lap left in Season 5 of the Weekend Warrior SRF Championship.
It's okay, race fans. It's a long lap. You still have time to soak this in and relish what a season it's been.
You really do. You can change the baby's diapers and still probably get back and see the finish on this one. It's a ways around here. All right. Ludaluda says, I think I'd like to be in front right now. Gasper says, that's fine with me. A little bit different. Usually this time when we have a battle like this with 1 lap to go, your commentator would be a little bit more vocal with a higher pitch and a little more volume. But right now, honestly, none of this really matters till we get a little closer to the back half of the track. Unless they get close and get together.
I'm going to let you watch that one. I'm going to keep an eye on Antonio Reyes and Steven Nelson because they have not figured out who wants 5th place yet. Much the same battle going on back here.
Yeah, they're probably going to race with a little more vim and vigor back there. Up front, it is still the Renault Orange machine of Demetrius Houdelus. The Renault, sorry, it's my old school English. There's a pass for the lead. Are they going to go side by side? They're going to figure this out? It's a matter, does either one want it? Are they fighting for it? Or are they fighting to fall back into second? They continue to race side by side. I guess that's one way to decide how you're going to go to the bus stop, is just decide to race side by side for a while. Now it starts to matter.
Yeah,
Cialis bathtubs. Ludus is going to get the position. He's going to tuck back in behind. Now look for him to get the toe. Let's see what type of line Gaspers takes. Gaspers is going to protect the inside of the bus stop. If he can hold his position, he'll have the momentum coming out of it. They head into it side by side. The German driver is first in. The car gets a little loose. He's first out. He was able to hold him off. Now it's a driveway to the source. Grease Lightning about 2 car lengths back. I think he's too far. Demetrius Houdeludis has got to get it going. The German driver has about a 3 car length lead down into La Source. They close up. Is there enough time between here and the finish line? It's Gaspers up in front. Let's give the Weekend Warrior Season 5 season finale to David Gaspers.
Elson leading Antonio Reyes. I don't know if Reyes is going to be able to catch him here at this point, Soup, and no, he does not. Elson edges out Reyes.
Let's go to 8th. This is Sadro being challenged by Michael Shaw. Shaw may have a chance. It's going to be really close. Did he nip him?
He did.
Well, you can make a pass out of La Source before the start-finish line as Shaw picks up 8th. Sadro.
Yeah, and Murakami and Bradshaw had a big battle, and Murakami comes out with that 10th spot.
Kern is out of fuel, and I think sneaking by is Chapman. I think both those cars might be out of fuel. Liero is going to settle for Chapman steals 13th position. Liero gets 14th. Kern limps it across in 15th, just ahead of Christopher Keeble.
You remember when this race started, I said Alan Chapman starting from the back of the field because one car didn't start. Well, Alan Chapman, congratulations, you finished 13th. That's 16 spots he gained.
Our race winner was David Gaspers, but I feel comfortable in saying that our series champion is Grease Lightning Demetrius Houdeludis. Picks it up. What we're going to do right now, the racing is done, but our broadcast is far from over. We'll take a short break, come back, run down the entire finishing order before we put a lock on the gate for the season. Back in a few. Welcome back to Spa and the Weekend Warriors SRF Championship Season number 5. The final race is in the books. We can tell you the race winner and the champion as well. Your race winner today, David Gaspers. He comes home about almost 0.2 of a second ahead of his rival Demetrius Houdeludis, but Grease Lightning gets the championship. Congratulations to Houdeludis. Jason Perry and Daniel Pinto come home third and fourth. Running at your top 5 is Stephen Elson. The back half of your top 10, Antonio Reese, Jomo, Michael Shaw, Daniel Sadro, and man in that mint-colored car, Chris Murakami.
All right, Soup, then we're going to drop back to 11. It's going to be Adam Bradshaw. Just misses out on the top 10. Mauro Marzo, 12th for him. Alan Chapman, 13th. Alejandro Liero will start, finishes 14th. 15th, go to Bob Kern. 16th, Christopher Keeble. Ross Nicholson in 17th. Jeff Cantor, 18th. Stevie Ray, 19th. Christopher Patterson, 20th.
With only a 40-minute race and so action-packed, it could not get a lot of love for these guys. In the blackjack position, Brad Taylor, and the last car on the lead lap is Tom Gradwell. And we get to some of the guys that had trouble. We saw Wayne Palmer have his problems. Francisco Bernardo also, we documented that. Mateo Don had a bad start. He comes home in 25th position. Gary Walbach, Carnivorous Love in 27th spot. Jason Lowe in 28th. Rounding out your field, Richard Yolland and Fred Dreisix.
Decide.
You know what? Just one more bad pronunciation before the series is done. Fred, I'll have it better for next time when we come back for next season. Let's go ahead to interview Sean. I'll let you talk to the race winner if you'd like.
Okay, let's get him in here. Sorry, I'm having trouble with my mouse here. There we go. All right, there's David Gaspers. David, congratulations. That was an exciting race. Lots going on out there. Lots of passing. I lost track of lead changes. How many do you think there were? Your best guess?
I think more than 20, but I don't know.
Well, again, it was very exciting, and but it looks like you might come up a little bit short on the championship. So is it a bit bittersweet standing here in victory lane right now?
I knew I wouldn't really have a chance at the championship after being hit last race and having to pit early. So it's fine. I knew it from the start that if Demetrius finishes in the top 4, I wouldn't win the championship.
Okay, so the big debate in the closing minutes of the race is where did you want to be on that final lap? What was your strategy there?
I didn't really have one. I already did a lot of official races this week against him, so I knew where he's strong and where he's not, and I just tried to somehow pass him in the entrance of the chicane.
So you did it the old-fashioned way. You did your homework. You did some studying, and it paid off for you here today. Congratulations on the big win here at Spa today. Anybody I'd like to thank? I mean, it's been a great season, and anybody there helping you out, or you want to just give a shout-out to somebody, go for it.
I want to thank Steve, of course, for hosting the series. And, yeah, I don't think what else. And
All
of
right,
course, the people racing against me. But it was a lot of fun during those fights, and I hope that continues next season.
Yeah, we hope so too, David. Again, congratulations. Thanks for your time, and we will see you next season, my friend.
Yeah.
Okay, there is your race winner today, and that is David Gaspers. And now we'll go ahead and talk to our second place finisher, runner-up today, but our champion, Grease Lightning. It is Demetrius Houdaloutas. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you very much, guys. It was an intense championship, a very difficult one, I must say.
When you are racing early on and you know you're thinking big picture, you're in the hunt for the championship, you got to kind of be a little bit concerned as you're in that pack racing. One mistake costs you the crown.
Yeah, of course, I was very much concerned. The track conditions weren't ideal, and the first lap is always chaotic. The guy on my left, I think he spun out, thankfully, to the left side, so I managed to continue. And afterwards, we had so many contact during the first 5 laps. It was scary, to be honest.
Well, you made it all the way through to the end. Now let's put you in there. You've raced Gaspers countless times, so you know him, you trust him. Was there a strategy where you wanted to be at what part of the track on that last lap?
In general, Gaspers is unthinkably fast in this track somehow. But thanks for the draft, I managed to stay next to him. To be honest, in the last lap, I was sure that I had taken the championship, so I was trying to be as cautious as possible, and didn't take a lot of risks during the last chicane, where I know that the whole game is there.
We wonder about that. Sometimes we wonder if the drivers think about the big picture, or if they get so caught up in what they're doing that they forget that they've worked so hard for 11 races to get the championship. So you're saying the championship was still on your mind, and you would settle for second rather than a mistake that could cost you.
Yeah, but guys, as you know, the racing in the SRF is pack racing, so we're very much used to running very close to one another, and especially when we're a tight community that know each other, it's easier to think about other stuff rather than racing as well.
Okay, I'm going to get you out of here on this one. Are you in Greece right now?
Yep.
What is the meal going to be later? Is it time for? Have you had your meal yet? If so, what was it, or what will it be?
My meal was a yogurt with some honey and a banana before the race. Yeah, that was it.
Some Greek yogurt, no less. Okay, congratulations on the win and on the championship.
Thank you very much, guys. Hopefully, we'll see you next season as well.
Absolutely. Demetrius Kouloudoulis, your Season 5 champion. Sean, we have one more interview. I think it's important that we bring in the man that makes this possible. We're going to talk to Stevie Ray.
Little Stevie Ray, and boy, what a race. It's so entertaining watching this group run every week. Stevie, another great season. Maybe not the result you were looking for in this race, but talk about the health of the series, because we mentioned it in the pre-race, how the mark of a great series is how many show up in the final race of the season. Boy, you had a good crowd today.
Yeah, it's been a really good season. I can't thank everybody enough in this league that has done a great job. We put on anywhere from 26 to 36 cars, I think, every race this season. So it's a lot of fun.
I know you guys brag about the camaraderie, and it shows. Everybody races so well together, and you know what, racing incidents happen, and it seems like when they do happen, nobody really gets that bent out of shape. Everybody moves on about their business, and you know, we'll show up next week and take it to you again. But big fun, man. And next season on the way. My understanding, we've already secured another contract for you, so we're really looking forward to getting that cranked up again. What's the key to the success, Stevie?
I think it's really just this community. It's always been a really good community in the SRF group, and this league, we just promote that more. And like you said, incidents happen. Everybody realizes that, and a lot of good gentlemen racing, and it's just a lot of fun. So I think it promotes itself.
Well, I'll tell you what, the races are exciting. They're difficult on the director. We like that when it's difficult for the director to keep up with what's going on. That's a good race. So a lot of great battles at the line in this one today. Up front with Gaspers and Hoodaludis, and then you had Elson and Reyes there, and Michael Shaw and Daniel Sadro, guys running out of gas there at the end. Big fun today.
Yeah, I'm anxious to watch the replay. This is the first season we've done the refueling stop in it, and I think it's really added a lot to the racing, some strategy, and a lot of fun. The guys really seem to like it. So
you get my vote to keep it. Absolutely, I like it. I'm one of those people that thinks that pit stops can be the great equalizer in a race. So hard to nail them perfectly, and you know, a lot of guys had some great stops today. I do think it's a keeper. Convince everyone that you should keep going forward with that.
Yeah, I think so. The feedback I've got so far as of right now, I think it's next season we're going to pretty much stay status quo. It's kind of hard to mess with success.
Any previews you want to give us for next season, and maybe a surprise track we'll see or something?
No, I don't know. We talked about throwing in some different tracks for one or two races, but we'll see how that goes. It's like I said, it's a good group. I want to thank you guys. Soup and Crackers is always fun to listen to, and just the GSRC guys, all of you do a great job with our league, and we appreciate it.
Well, those are very kind words, and we thank you, and we look forward to seeing you again soon. You're playing those cards a little close to the vest, but that's okay. We'll take it, and we will see you back on the track soon, Stevie.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, and our thanks to Steve Ray, really the guy that makes this all go, Soup. And, we know a lot of league organizers. He's one of the great ones out there.
I think that Jefferson track's going to be on the schedule. I'm going to put in my vote for that one. We'd like to thank everybody at the SRF Weekend Warrior League for making this event a success, and especially the man we just talked to, Steve Ray, for organizing the entire affair and contracting with GSRC to broadcast it. We know you have a lot of choices when you fly. Thanks for flying GSRC. Thanks to the companies, equipment, and software you see on the screen right now that we use on the broadcast. Hey, how about that iconic music that lets your ears alert your eyes you're watching a GSRC production? That comes courtesy of Eric Ecklom and Casey Lalonde. See the screen to how to contact each of them.
All right, with Season 5 now over, this does conclude GSRC's coverage of the Weekend Warriors here for this season. Now, the schedule's still being hammered out a little bit, like Stevie had just alluded to, but we're confident all the I's are going to be dotted, the T's are going to be crossed, and we'll see you for all or maybe some of that action next season. But until then, right now you've got sliding across your screen GSRC's upcoming broadcasts, so check them out, mark it down on your calendar. Subscribe to this YouTube channel, and you'll never miss a race because you'll get those notifications that we've got a race going live. And don't forget that. Find us on social media. Big presence there. You can catch us on Twitter at GSR Channel, Facebook. You type in Global SimRacing Channel, all one word, will come up, I promise. And we're also on the gram now, GSRC_gram. And listen, always a great day here at the Global SimRacing Channel. We are not finished. Please come back at 7:25 Eastern Daylight Savings Times, folks. We've got the Pacific Majors region this evening. The Indy 500 coming your way.
Woo. A whole 500 laps. It is a full Indy 500. We're going to be there. Well, a whole 500 miles, 200 laps. That's right. 500 laps at Indy. That would be really something. Finally, on behalf of the man whose voice you just heard, Sean Crackers Ambrose, I got to charge up for this race here. Our director, Joe Peak, and our camera artist, Dougie Beard, I'd like to thank all of you for watching. Finish strong, Soup. With that said, we're off to have fun, storming the castle. So until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.